So for a young as under 12 team, they used to travel and play home and away games every
Okay.
week. They should train twice a week and then they had a game.
Oh, wow.
But the facilities, they had proper dressing rooms, all those
Even
clubs.
the under 12s.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Football Unplugged with me, Satvik. In today's episode of the podcast, we have Mr. Jayaraj Talawar with us, who heads the under 15s at Roundglass Punjab FC, one of the biggest clubs of the country. And in the course of the episode, we are going to learn from Jayaraj's experience of his coaching stints in the US and the UK, where he had spent time even in the former Premier League club Cardiff City, and learn from him what goes into the mindset of becoming a coach, and at the same time understand the difference in the footballing culture when we compare an India to United Kingdom, probably, where it is completely different. My chat was lovely. I think it was one of the most interesting chats about football that I've done over the last decade. And I got to learn a lot from him. And that is the idea for all the budding or aspiring coaches to understand what goes into becoming a professional football coach. And I just hope that this episode is a great learning curve, and more importantly, a great knowledge base for everyone probably looking to boost off their coaching careers, or just a normal football fanatic who just want to learn or understand different aspects that goes into coaching in football. So, Jaraj, thank you so much for coming to the show. I remember, the other day when I had this conversation with you about inviting you to the show, and I think ever since I've been very excited of the entire coaching bit, and what does a person go through to become a coach, and more than that, what tactical or what all the things that a coach has to do. So I'm very intrigued, and I think that is the idea. What I want people to also learn and experience is what does a coach actually do, and what are the different experiences that he has. And obviously, your up and down and a very interesting journey of becoming a coach. So again, thank you so much for accepting the invitation, and I'm absolutely thrilled.
Thank you so much, Satvik, for the invitation. It's a pleasure for me, and it's just my experience. If somebody could take it something from that, the things I did, things I should have done, those kind of experiences. I'm very happy to share. Anybody can take it and and use it.
Yeah. Great. So, Jairaj, starting from the very basics, could you just tell me sort of, how did you get into coaching, and what are you currently doing in the football industry?
Yeah. So I was born and brought up in Karnataka, in a small town called Davangere. That's where I spent my 10 years of childhood, where nobody was playing football.
Okay.
In the school, I used to play volleyball and badminton, bit of different games. But football was not there. Football was completely minus in Karnataka. So, and study was the main topic in my household. That's why my mom and dad wanted me to focus on things.
Could you give me a
But
brief background? What do your parents do basically, or what were they doing earlier?
yeah, so my father works for Indian Railway.
Okay.
He retired in 2018. Yeah, so he used to get transferred from one place to another place. So Davangere is one place where he let us stay for 10 years. Then we moved to Bijapur, then Hubli.
Yeah.
Hubli is
So,
where I
so
did
a
my
normal
college.
Indian middle class family.
Yeah, normal middle class. When my mom is a housewife, I have one elder brother and one younger brother.
Okay.
So coming back to the football bit, yeah, I didn't had any exposure of playing. Only when I moved to Hubli, where I did my college, I played a little bit, with college friends, or sometimes once or twice in a week, like that.
And not at a
when
professional scale.
No, no. When I started, it was already late. Like I was already 17, 18 or 16, in the college. So I didn't have that basic, technique where I could, go or think about, becoming a professional or, playing somewhere. No, that was not the background I had. But I had other sports background. But watching the 2006 World Cup,
The infamous Zidane headbutt.
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that live. But before that, also, I had a friend called Surjit
Okay.
in our college who was very much interested in football. He used to watch all the Italian teams. He used to come and discuss with me and stuff. So I started, following the World Cup, and we used to play those FIFA '07 or '06 game that time.
Yeah.
That's when I fell in love, and looking the art of Zidane on the ball, it was amazing. That's when I fell in love with football, and that's when it started. And then I started watching Liverpool and especially Rafa Benitez teams.
Yeah.
Uh, the way he was beating big teams like Real Madrid, Manchester United, and other clubs with not so famous
Yes, correct.
Liverpool, not
Probably
that
just a Jayaraj
top.
or a
Yeah,
or a Luis Garcia in their
yeah,
teams.
and then Xabi Alonso,
Yes.
Mascherano,
Yes,
Torres, these guys came. It kind of had a very strong connection. Why Liverpool? You can ask me that question because in India we didn't had any proper I League coverage or as
Yeah,
such
yeah.
to watch it on TV.
And I think even right now, I think when we talk about, football fans in India,
Yeah.
when you ask their favorite team, one does not expect a Mohan Bagan or a Bengaluru FC,
Yeah.
The answer is a Manchester United or a Barcelona because
Yeah.
especially when, people of my age group especially were growing up,
Yeah.
it was just, the Pep Guardiola Barcelona or the,
Yeah.
the last years of Sir Alex, where Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney. So, obviously,
Yeah.
your sort of inclination goes towards European football.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that's one of the thing. It's changed a bit now. Maybe you could find a Kerala Blaster fan who just loves Kerala. I've seen so many Bangalore FC fans, the West Block and all those players who following football because of them having the chance to go to the stadium or watching the games on TV. Slowly it is changing. But in my time, no, there was that's the only football I could get. Even now, things can still improve. But when I was coming up, it was in my childhood. No, there was no Indian football on TV. Even the national team. Forget the club.
Yeah.
Even the national games, it was not properly telecasted. So fairly, for the boys, even still now they follow the Premier League, the La Liga, and other clubs, or even PSG,
Yeah.
or the French football because of Neymar and all these guys. So fair enough for them. But at least they're falling in love with football or picking football because of different stars.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, you were 18, 19 in college. So, obviously quite late,
Yeah.
and, especially in a country, I've had a discussion with you as well. I've had discussion with other people wherein,
Yeah.
people getting into coaching without being a professional player is still, very limited people, or still people in the footballing circle do not really consider them as natural coaches since they've not played.
Yeah.
So how was that, transition from 18, wherein you decide what do you actually want to be, right? And you were in an engineering college, if I'm not wrong.
No, I was in Commerce College.
Okay.
I was doing commerce that time. I finished the BCom, and that's when I finished BCom in 2007.
Okay.
But 2006, 7, and those times I was just getting started into deep football, and I went to Infosys. I was working for Infosys in Bangalore.
Okay.
But I was not really interested in in the IT bit. But my first stage, whenever I used to get frustrated at work, at in the night I used to come home and play FIFA '07 or watch some football. That's when I used to get my relaxation, or more like a meditation for me.
So one can credit your football career to, let's say, a FIFA.
Yeah. That's the first love, you can say, because I didn't had that technique or the finish of quality football. I couldn't put myself playing at any level as such. So, but straight away my thoughts and ideas went into coaching.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't really go recall everything fresh.
Obviously.
But somewhere, whenever Liverpool used to lose the matches, I used to, not get really good sleep. I used to think about what Rafa Benitez is,
Wow.
what he could have done, this and that. The next day, I used to choose the same formation he used to choose for the game,
In
and
FIFA.
try it myself
Yeah.
in FIFA.
So funny thing, this is something, I am just a crazy Lionel Messi fan, and this is something that I did just out of, I don't know, sheer stupidity, but I sort of played the Argentina France World Cup final like 5 times before the final actually happened, just to win, just to have that thing, Argentina is winning. It's,
Yeah.
luck, whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah. So yes. Yeah.
So that journey went. So even when I was working in Infosys in 2008 and 9, I I was still thinking of football all the time. My subconscious was, thinking about ideas, this formation, that. I couldn't get away with that. Then I was thinking to, go into coaching. Some night, in 2009, I think I decided I want to become a coach. But then I didn't had any, background or as such networks or contacts, these kind of things. So I think I decided to go step by step, which is to study football
Okay.
or get closer to the football. So I went to do the sports management course in Calcutta. That's what I discussed with my father.
Okay.
My father wanted me to leave Infosys and do, write for the MBA exam, the IM, CAT and ZAT that time,
Yeah.
prepare for that. I went for Byju's tuition and left that halfway. And then I finally convinced my dad that I want to go to sports management. My thought was, okay, I'll get into some football club as an operations guy or admin guy,
Okay.
and then start slowly doing the football coaching
Understood.
badges.
Understood.
So I went to Calcutta, football city. There, I used to go to East Bengal training session, watch what the senior team is doing and those kind of things.
So was that something that was allowed? How did you get to see the first team coaching? Is that something you did, or it was just an analyzing of the match that they played?
No, I used to go and sit in the stadium in East Bengal and watch the live training.
Okay, the practice training sessions before the
Training
match.
sessions. Yeah.
Okay.
I used to watch the training session because that time it was not that competitive as such. Now, like now, I can't go and watch ISL training.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
that time in 2010-11, it was not that because it was allowed, to sit somewhere and calmly watch, unless you don't have a camera or as
Yeah.
such. So I used to sit and watch there. And as a internship from the ISWBM college where I was
Okay.
doing the sports management, they sent me to Tata. I wanted to do they sent me to Jamshedpur, but I wanted to do it in TUFA. But I don't know, Mr. Captain Amitabh, that time they sent me to Archery Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the project with Archery Academy. But while I was there, I used to go and watch the TFA training sessions, under 15 or 17, whatever they had that time. Richard Hood was there as a coach leading the sessions, and Mr. Vijay, who passed away late, Mr. Vijay. So I used to watch these sessions, just takes bit of ideas. From there, I got a campus in. There was a lot of campus interviews. I wrote to so many different football clubs, but I didn't get any breakthrough that time.
Okay.
But I got a job.
And this was for a job in the footballing industry.
Yeah. So my idea was to do the sports management and get into football club because I thought having a sports management degree instead of a MBA,
Yeah.
I'll get into the sports industry
Easier.
easier way.
Yeah.
But my luck was not there. It was a closed door, And again, I got a campus job in Edu Sports in Bangalore.
Okay.
Then I came to Bangalore. I was working with Edu Sports, and it was a different challenge in Edu Sports because it's the first time I was a relationship manager where I had to go and speak to a lot of school trustees, principals, sell them the Edu Sports program, what they're doing.
Okay.
So there I had to improve my communication. When I went to the ISWBM college, I realized that I'm not very strong in communicating or expressing my views or opinions because I saw there were some really sharp guys from Delhi and other good
Tier 1
schools.
cities, let's say.
Yeah. So that I realized. So that was a good grounding, I'd say, for me as a next step. Infosys, okay, I improved my communication a little bit. And then it was the next step in Edu Sports to go and actually speak to these big guys, like school teachers, trustees. Someone like, there was a big chain of school, JSS in Mysore.
Okay.
Had to go and speak to the head there.
Okay.
It's a lot of nerves. In football, it's the same thing. What I thought, it was not something different because as a coach, you have to sell your idea. For me, it was similar. I was selling the idea of the product, the sports curriculum program of Edu Sports to them. I was on my own.
Okay.
Taking appointments and going and speaking to them and these kind of things. So it helped me indirectly. At that time, maybe I didn't realize, but when I look back, it improved my convincing or communicating my ideas. That helped me. So luckily, of all the guys who joined from ISWM, I was the one who was, I sold 2 schools in the first year.
Okay.
And then I decided I had to move on again. So I went to decathlon after that. I quit Edis Sports and I went to decathlon.
Hmm.
While I was in decathlon, something clicked. Clicked means, luckily, Bangalore FC started their academy. I think it was 2013.
Okay.
While working in decathlon, they used to have early morning sessions of under 18 and followed by 15. So the first session was at 7.
Okay.
So I used to wake up early in the morning at 6 or 5, I don't know exactly. And then I used to drive to ride to the stadium, watch the sessions of Richard Hood and Shaksham, and pick some markers, just picking the markers,
Just
and just
helping these
sitting
guys.
there watching. And when I started doing that regularly, they used to give me a box of rondo to lead,
Wow.
just to give some instruction. That was like wow for me.
Mhm.
So the idea for me to go and see was, I wanted to see, what actually a professional youth coach does, how he, develops a young player. So that I wanted to see.
Jayaraj, I'm very inquisitive. What I've usually seen is people being, absolutely passionate about sports or football in general from very early, right?
Yeah.
And that is when they lose their sleep, as you were doing with decathlon.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Let's say quite late, if I say this, when you were probably 18, 20, 22, and then losing your sleep over something which you probably, weren't passionate about from the early days. How did that sort of transition happen?
Okay. First is the idea. First is the dreams, I think.
Okay.
First was the dream.
Hmm.
I dreamed about, becoming a head coach of a professional club down the line, whether that's 10
And you
years.
had absolutely clarity about that is something that you're
Yeah.
wanting.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it happened because I started studying. So Bill Shankly was the one guy I missed out. I was while watching Liverpool, also I used to watch Bill Shankly's football of
Yeah.
1970s.
Yeah.
Bob Paisley and Bill Shankly.
Yeah. The Ian Rush team, if I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one who won the European Cups, or before that also,
Yeah.
the 1970s,
Yes.
was one of the best in
In the world.
the world at that time.
Yeah.
That pass and move, that kind of philosophy and the socialism which Bill Shankly brought, I realized that it's not just about technique or tactics. There's so many other things surrounding football. And even Rafa Benitez was not a top player. He was he retired very early as a young player, and then he started coaching in the academy. One more guy was Arrigo Sacchi of AC Milan, who was not a professional player or who played at a high level. His father used to run a shoe factory, and he was a salesman. He used to sell his father's shoes. But he became one of the top coach, and I studied his documentary also. I started watching his games or training sessions and his articles, interviews. That thing, I don't know, somewhere it convinced me. And the another big one was Idan Ravin.
Okay.
Idan Ravis, he's a coach, NBA skills coach in US.
Okay.
He was just a high school player. He never
Played
played
basketball
for.
professionally.
He didn't got picked any draft or played in NBA or nothing. He was just a high school basketball player.
Okay.
His story, I read his book called Hoops Whisperer, and before that I read some articles about him, how he started coaching NBA stars. It's all his intuition. He believed in his inner voice. That's the thing I came to know. And one fine day, I don't know, I wrote a message to Idan Ravin on Facebook, and he replied to me.
Okay.
That was wow. Like he told me that, Jay, just believe in your inner voice. You will have, I can recall, just follow your inner voice and chase your dream. You will, even if you don't have a lot of money, you will have a beautiful life.
Wow.
When you look back, you will be satisfied, and it doesn't look like work or something. Those were his words. And then I realized, okay, all my self doubts. Okay, I had a lot of self doubts because of my background, but no. Then I decided, no, I need to go. Ideas, examples, then the plans, how I can reach there. So yeah, so sports management route, it didn't work exactly, and again had to the Bangalore FC stint, going there as a volunteer coach just to sit observe, that helped me a lot. And then I decided to quit decathlon, and I decided no, I need to go further. By the time I was doing those volunteer coaching in Bangalore FC, I did my AIF D license in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Sorry, in Mumbai with
Okay.
FIFA. Then I came to know about USW, the UK's football coaching degree
Okay.
in University of South Wales.
Okay.
And then I went to my dad and tried to convince him. That was a bit
Yeah.
longer story we discussed before.
Yeah.
So I went to my dad and told that this is something I want to do. It was a similar conversation when I told my dad I don't want to do the MBA entrance exam and go and work in IIM or in different college. Similarly, I said, no, I don't want to continue in this job. I want to study properly the football,
I think
abroad.
this conversation, I think anyone who's connected with in the sports industry or anywhere who does not probably choose the traditional route of
Yeah.
getting employed, I think this is one harsh or one difficult conversation everyone has with their parents, especially coming from a middle class family.
Yeah. Like you, you might have watched the Three Idiots movie,
Yeah.
where Madhavan wants to do the photography,
Yeah.
leaving the engineering one. Similar conversation, I would say. But luckily, I mean, thank God I had such a good, still have a good father and mother. Especially my father, he supported everything in whatever I chose, And I was a bit matured and, what do you call, pretty good in school, I would say, in academics. Whatever I chose, I had decent numbers in school to back up, whatever I decided to do, I gave it my, good shot, best shot.
Yeah.
That's why my father, decided to support me. But it was a big financial challenge because first year I had to pay 9 lakhs fees, second year again.
And this
9
was
lakhs.
around 10 odd years ago.
Yeah. So this was in 2014.
Yeah, almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, almost 10 years, 2014. So yeah, my dad has to sell a open plot or a land
Okay.
to send me to UK. So that's how the commitment my dad gave. And yeah, going to UK is another big challenge because first time abroad, in a country where I never been there. Yeah, what I told my dad is just take care of the fees and I will take care of my stay there and food and everything. So based on what I promised, I used to do coaching in two volunteer. Sorry, one was in Cardiff City Advanced Development Center. I was lucky to get first year.
And this was the Cardiff City that plays in the Premier League, that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They were playing in Premier League that time. Yeah, so one of my tutor in university, he saw me how curious I was, how I was interested to become, interested in everything I was doing there. I was completely passionate and invested in my studies. So he recommended me to Cardiff City Foundation to, give me a chance to coach, their younger teams, which is below the elite level, the Advanced Development Center. And there was a local club called Tree Forest FC.
Yeah.
And I went and spoke to the head of the academy, Lawrence Badman, and then he suggested me to go and speak to the under-13s coach, Dean Evans. And Dean Evans gave me a chance, to come and assist him in his under-12s. It was his Dean Evans' sons who was playing in under-12 also. So that was a really great experience, I would say.
By really great experience, what do you mean? What was very particular about that experience that you still remember till date?
Okay. So for a young as under 12 team, they used to travel and play home and away games every week. They should train twice a week and then they had a game.
Oh, wow.
But the facilities, they had proper dressing rooms, all those clubs.
In the under 12s.
Yeah. I mean, let's say the Tree Forest FC, they had a facility where they could, even the academy or their senior team could use the same facility. They had a small kind of clubhouse, and within that they had the football dressing rooms and a ground next to that.
And when I talk about the team Tree Forest FC,
Yeah.
it was a team at a lower level or not the main city sort of a team.
No, they were in the amateur league only. They were in the amateur league.
So Jayaraj, something that just comes to my mind, when I see these countries that do well in football, they have such a structured system even at grassroots level. Do you think that is a problem in the country, in India at the moment, where structure is still not there when we talk about Indian football?
Before the structure, I would say it's about culture. Culture is the big thing. Although we had in India, we used to compete in Olympics back
Way
in
back, yeah, in
1950s,
50s, yeah.
but we didn't. The population didn't have the connection with what they did at that level.
Like they have with the cricket right now.
Yeah, like the cricket, because of again the telecast were not there. People were not aware of what our Olympics team had done because we were so much into just coming out of independence struggle, this and that. There were so many other things were happening, so that was a disconnect. But there, they have a culture like some clubs are as old as 1892 or 1900. So they have those generations. Their grandfather, the father was a player.
Yeah.
Then the son, then the grandchildren. They're all playing football. They're all supporting their local club. All they do is it's no generation connection with football.
Yeah.
Having a game, enjoying it. Watching their grandkids, play, enjoying the goals, getting mad, yelling at the referees.
Yeah.
That culture.
Yeah.
Culture
Involvement in the sport from the very young level, right?
Yeah, very young level. Even when I was in Wales, yes, there was rugby was one of the other strong sports, but football has its own
Charm.
Yeah, its own charm, I would say. So even a 12-year-old player, even in amateur league, they were getting 20 odd games in a year. That is home and away, home and away. It was they had a amateur league
And they had a
league
proper
table.
structure, yeah. Oh,
league
wow.
table. They used to watch it. If it was not telecasted,
Obviously.
but at least it was.
They were getting game time.
They were getting games. There was proper culture. Even I say the grass was this much tall. It was not properly cut in grassroots also. It's similar, but at least it has a grass cover because of rain all the time in UK, and
Yeah.
but still they had proper. I would say the infrastructure were there because of being the old clubs.
Yeah. So so I'm sorry, you were telling about, how that coaching experience was very unique with Triforest FC.
Yeah, so because Dean was very relaxed during the trainings,
Okay.
and during the match he was a bit
Crazy?
strong, bit hard on the boys.
Okay.
His team talks were really up to the point, and he used to bring a lot of energy in the dressing room, and every team talk was different. There was a message, something, was like, wow.
I'm very interested what happens in these team talks. I've been a part, but from a coach's perspective, what is the message that you want to send out? Like something that he would do.
Okay. I mean, with under 12 boys, he was using basic instructions on, but he was very strong on winning. About hard work. Quality passes. He was talking still
Just
basic.
getting those words in their mind. The basic things that you need to do right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, each coach, one advice Dean Evans told me that don't copy anyone. Be yourself. He said, use your intuition. Be yourself. When you get to that stage where you're coaching your own team, you will get those, the instinct or the themes which you want to use. You will get in your head, but follow those. So talk from your own heart. Don't try to copy. He said.
It's very intrigued. So when we go up the ladder, let's say I complete a D or a C license. So how does the entire curriculum evolve? Like, let's say what happened in the rest of the 2 or 3 stages, right?
Okay, so the E is basically about in the grassroots level, basic amateur level, just initial step, where the sessions is mainly based about giving a fun and a safe session to the players.
Okay.
Let them fall in love with the game and stay with the game.
Okay.
Not too much technical, advanced things.
Just enjoying the element of the sport.
Yeah.